Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, since President Abdel al-Sisi came to office and he gave very good care and attention to science and scientific research in Egypt and launched several presidential initiatives in this field. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phone with Dr. Ayman Abdel Wahab, expert in environmental affairs in the United Nations. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me tonight to participate in your program.
It's my pleasure, sir. Dr. Abdel Wahab, President Abdel al-Sisi have launched several initiatives concerning boosting the field of science and scientific research. How do you see the importance of these presidential initiatives?
Well, actually, just before we dive into this very important topic, let me just give you a glimpse about, how the scientific research and innovation started. This activity started since the dawn of humanity with the Stone Age man who started improving his livelihood by innovating some simple tools to improve his life. And this process is an unending process that will continue as long as humans are on this earth. Coming back to your comment about His Excellency President
Sisi, yes.
There are so many initiatives, and if we just talk about building an Egyptian society that learns, thinks, and innovates, and about the knowledge bank project. It's a very big and very courageous project. And what can we benefit from this knowledge bank? The first benefit is to depend on ourselves. If we have our own scientific research, we have our innovation mechanism, we can depend on ourselves, we have our know-how instead of importing this know-how through consultants and foreign experts. And utilize whatever funds we have in the implementation and the construction of useful projects for our country. I consider this a very important benefit of scientific research, national scientific research and innovation mechanism.
Yes, so Dr. Abdel Wahab, what do you think of the science and especially the scientific research in Egypt? What are the challenges that faces this field? Do you think that one of the challenges are the high budget the scientific research needs?
Well, actually, there is budget allocated for scientific researches, and as most of the scientific research centers are supervised by the government, so there is funds allocated to it. But to be honest with you, the more funds you utilize in scientific research, the more benefit you get. And each dollar and each pound you put in scientific research, you will gain it multiples of benefits.
Yes.
In implementation and application. So although we do have allocations of funds, but we still need more and more. I know that we have limited resources, and but we have to put it into perspective that the more funds we utilize, the more benefit we gain.
Yes, so Dr. Abdel Wahab, the Science Day was revived in the year 2017 when President Abdel al-Sisi have honored the winners of the state awards along with the top-notch researchers and school and university professors and students. So could you highlight Egypt's keenness on supporting science and scientific research and the university professors?
Well, this is a very brilliant move and brilliant initiative to recognize and honor, top-notch researchers and university professors Because by recognition and praising these scientists, you encourage, more scientists to follow suit and to put more effort and to put more time. And by this, they realize that the country, the government, and the people are looking at them, and they put them in the right status. And not only that, but the youth who are looking at scientists, they will realize that Egypt is putting science, technology, research in its right place, which is going to benefit all of us at the end of the day by innovations, new innovations that improve the livelihood. And we will depend on ourselves by having our own technologies which suit our local conditions, because nobody will know what our needs and what our local conditions more than ourselves and our scientists.
Yes, Dr. Abdel Wahab, we were just speaking about the high budget of the scientific research and science. In this context, education sector have witnessed a major leap, almost doubling the budget of the scientific research and development. It was dubbed to 35.6 billion Egyptian pounds in the academic year 2018-2019. So what is the effect of this on the education sector?
Well, the effect is very obvious because, when we put education in its right priority, then we are investing, it's a very well invested money. The more funds you put into scientific research, the more funds you put into education and development, the more we benefit from our talented scientists. And let me tell you something. Instead of our talented scientists and researchers fleeing out of the country and going to benefit other communities and other countries, why not we have them? And by allocating this budget, then we keep them. We have very talented scientists. We have very talented researchers. By providing funds, by providing the proper environment, the tools, the research centers, they will pay and they will benefit us. They will benefit our communities. Although we have, renowned scientists all over the world, but we should have, the same here in Egypt, here in our own home, and we have to honor them not less than what has been done on the international level. And this is very important, and this is very good move for our country.
Yes, so Dr. Abdel Wahab, Egypt was ranked the world's 11th and the first in Africa in scientific publications in the field of seawater desalination in the year 2019 and came in the 25th place in the nanotechnology and in the 3rd place in Africa in climate smart agriculture. How do you read this?
Well, as I mentioned, that we have talented scientists in different walks of science and in different specialties across the board. And this includes climate change, seawater desalination, nanotechnology, and you name it. Yes. And as Egypt is hosting the COP27 next November, this is a very good opportunity to utilize our national treasure of scientists and innovators and researchers. I'm saying that because there is going to be funds allocated for the adaptation and the mitigation of negative impacts of climate change.
Yes.
We don't want to waste part of this money in the know-how. We don't want to waste part of this money in consultation work from abroad. We have our scientists, we have our know-how, We just have to pick them, put them together, provide them with all what they need to provide the scientific environment so that we come up with our national ideas. We know our climate, we know how our climate was in the past. We have witnessed the changes in our climate over the years, and we know what the parts that are going to be hit hard from this climate change.
Yes.
So we are the ones, our scientists and our researchers are the ones who can come up with the national and local solutions to these, kind of problems and climate change negative impact.
Yes. So we've mentioned 2 points now, the climate change, the COP27 conference, and also the seawater desalination in Egypt. And I start with the seawater desalination. We know that one of the plans of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to make the north coast take its water from the water desalination stations. So how do you see this? And Egypt is considered the first in Africa in this field.
Well, actually, yes, that's true, especially that we have 1,000 kilometers along the Mediterranean Sea, and we have 1,000 kilometers along the Red Sea.
Yes.
So we have huge bodies of water. Some countries are landlocked and we don't have any shores on the sea, but we are lucky. We have the River Nile, we have the Mediterranean Sea, and we have the Red Sea.
Yes.
And we have to start focusing on desalination, especially for drinking purposes and some selective agricultural purposes. Although we have the River Nile, but we should have alternative resources of fresh water so that we can depend on this if there is any problem or any conflict that might take place. We don't want to wait until we face this problem. And this was a very smart move from His Excellency to focus on this kind of providing extra volume of fresh water. And we are lucky that, it's no secret now. The technology is well known all over the world. The know-how is very well known. And actually, we already have all the touristic resorts along the Red Sea. They utilize the desalination technology in providing fresh water for their guests.
Yes.
So we just have to expand on this. We have to put more, money on this, and we have also to think about developing our own technologies for seawater desalination to bring down the cost of desalination, because it's costly. Let's face it, desalination of seawater is very costly. So we have to try to cut down the cost by providing local manufacturing of parts of these desalination plants so that we can lower the total cost of desalination plants.
Yes, so Dr. Abdel Wahab, the second point is the COP27, which Egypt is now, preparations are underway that Egypt hosts the COP27 climate change conference next November in Sharm el-Sheikh city. So concerning the climate change, how do you see the importance of Egypt hosting this conference, and why was Egypt very keen on winning to host this COP27 conference on climate change, and what are the steps that Egypt took to gain this position and host this important conference?
Well, actually, there is two sides of hosting the COP27 for Egypt.
Yes.
The first one is a great honor, and at the same time, it's a great responsibility. And Egypt was selected to be the host of this big event because of its political, geographical, and environmental position.
Yes.
We all know that Egypt is very influential in the area, in the MENA region, Middle East and North Africa, and it also affects Europe and the advanced world as well. So all nations are looking at Egypt and looking at the role it has to play in this respect. Second, the awareness and the scientific advancement of Egypt puts it at the top of the African countries.
Yes.
So Egypt is very well qualified to lead the region, to lead Africa, and to represent Africa and the region.
Yes.
Egypt is the best country to talk about the negative impacts of climate change. Egypt is the best entity to provide solutions, to provide know-how. We already have this in country. And the big responsibility lies in the fact that we have to be very courageous and very bold about addressing the role of advanced countries and the Europe and America about what they have to do in this regard. We all know that Egypt and the countries in the region are not the main cause of climate change and pollution and all the rest of it. So
yes.
we have to make the advanced world play their role. They have to contribute with the funds. They have to provide us with enough funds to mitigate the negative impact of climate change. And this has to be, put in the table very bluntly, very frankly, and with great transparency. This is an opportunity. This is a responsibility. This is an honor. We have to make the best benefit of it.
Yes. Also, Dr. Abdel Wahab, concerning also the COP27, yes, we'd like to shed light on this because it's one of the very important conferences and showed that Egypt is qualified to host this conference. Actually, Egypt is preparing the city of the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh to host the COP27 conference, and all the hotels are turning green. And could you give us an idea about preparing the city for to host this event, great event and conference, turning the hotels and the city to a green city?
Well, actually, if you go to Sharm el-Sheikh, you will find that it's like a beehive, There is lots of work going on. There is lots of projects, lots of innovation, lots of renovation and upgrading to the city. Because this big event, worlds from all over, countries from all over the world will come and will see us and will see how we are dealing with our communities, how we are trying to be more green. And actually, it's not only an opportunity to present our case regarding the climate change and how to mitigate its negative impact on us, but it's also it's a marketing opportunity for our country as a whole, for tourism, to show the world how well organized we are, how we can organize such big events, and how we are dealing with environmental issues. So we are already putting great effort, and we are counting on this event to promote for our country, for our history, for tourism, for all aspects of Egypt to be under light for the entire world.
Yes, Dr. Abdel Wahab, what do we expect in the coming future in the field of scientific research and science?
Well, actually, I'm very optimistic about that, and I can see that His Excellency President Sisi and the government are putting very big effort in this regard, are allocating funds and providing the proper environment for scientists and researchers. But what I would like to add is not only the governmental bodies have to play a role in this, but we have also to include the industry, the private sector, the private university, everybody who has a role or can have a role in this regard have to be included in the national strategy. We don't want to exclude individual talented scientists and researchers to play their role. You don't know where the innovation is coming from. So we have to include everybody, including, as I mentioned, the private sector and the individuals in this very well organized matrix. This is what I can say about that. But the future is very bright, is very promising, and Egypt is going in the right direction.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Ayman Abdel Wahab, expert in environmental affairs. Thank you very much for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, with this, we come to the end of this episode of our program, Cairo Local Time. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.